watching you since you came into this place. You stood in the back of the room. Time stood still as it memorized your face. The stars collide, then burning bright. You look at me for the first time. This is right where I'd like to be, where I wanna be. You know that tonight I wanna dance, dance. I wanna feel like we can last forever in the city lights. You know they shine for you. And if it's alright, I wanna get you on the dance floor. Just you and me get together on the dance floor. Tonight, tonight I shine for you. For you, I shine for you. I shine for green eyes staring back at me. I can barely breathe. Yeah, my heart is beating fast. You move through the dance floor. Are you coming over? How am I gonna make this moment last? The stars collide, they're burning bright. You pull me in for the first time. This is right where I'd like to be, where I wanna be. You know that tonight I wanna dance, dance. I wanna feel like we can last forever in the city lights. You know they shine for you. And if it's alright, I wanna get you on the dance floor. Just you and me get together on the dance floor. Tonight, tonight I shine for you. It's just you and me. Listen to the music. Only you and me. This is right where I wanna be. Tonight I wanna dance to dance. I wanna feel like we can last forever in the city lights. You know they shine for you. And if it's alright, I wanna get you on the dance floor. Just you and me get together on the dance floor. Tonight, tonight I shine for you. For you, I shine for you. I shine for you. Tonight I shine for you. I shine for you.
Gulf Coast.
We are asking you to evacuate. It was called the buckwheat fire. It scorched more than 38,000 acres and destroyed 21 homes.
There have been close to 40 aftershocks following yesterday's 5.6 earthquake near San Jose.
These exodus now have a sense of real urgency. We can be on safe households, which is said to be one of the most intense storms ever seen.
I read the news today. Don't think reaches out. Now I can no longer breathe. Good night. I lay my head. Will you remember me by your side? I'm great diva. Here we are. This is now. Everybody told me now it's okay. Can't come back. This is true, and you will know. Yeah, I don't know what to do. What to do? Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What to do? Yeah, I don't know what to do. Here we are. This is now. Everybody told me now it's okay. Can't come back. This is true, and who will know? Yeah, I don't know what to do. What to do? Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What to do? Yeah, I don't know what to do. Can we put away the guns tonight? It's not a war we're in, and I'm drawing a line. You made your point 1,000 times, and I'm not afraid to lose. Step away from the stereo, you're cranking that tune too loud, and it hurts. Could you go back through the double doors? 'Cause I'm just not in the mood. No, I'm not in the mood. Can we put away the guns tonight? It's not a war we're in, and I'm drawing the line. You made your point 1,000 times, and I'm not afraid to lose. Step away from the stereo, you're cranking that tune too loud and it hurts. Could you go back through the double doors? 'Cause I'm just not in the mood. No, I'm not in the mood. I don't wanna every time that you come through, you know I gotta be around you. I can't get my eyes off you. Ooh, there's nobody else that I want. Those feelings I have are true. Staying by your side every day and night with you.
no individual having the opportunity to have a better life for themselves or for their children, if they have the chance to scale a wall, to swim across a river, they're gonna take it.
And the sad thing is, most Americans don't know what freedom really is.
We will move forward to pass comprehensive immigration reform and a path towards citizenship.
They are laying waste to the very American republic that has been the greatest country in the history of the world.
I did agree with some of the things that Donald Trump did, right? Because I do believe that there should be a vetting process.
Is that unreasonable to ask? Make sure you're not affiliated with any gangs. Why would we want you here? Get out.
The majority of the crimes that I prosecute as the chief law enforcement officer in Suffolk County are citizens of this country.
We grow enough here, we don't need to import more. If I could deport them, I would.
USA! USA! USA!
Life is so hard in Haiti or in the country that they had before, they'll take the risk of getting caught.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 to pay a coyote to bring you illegally across the border, pay to apply and come here legally.
She always said that, like, my situation is different, that I don't have the same opportunities as everyone else.
I'm not going to tell you about their life walk. I'm not going to tell you about how they got here. I'm not going to tell you about the journey they're experiencing. No, that doesn't matter. Them, they.
Sooner or later, I started to get brought into like meetings with lawyers.
On day one, we end a war.
Hey there, General Red Revere here with Old Colony Pest Control. If you're having pest problems in a commercial or residential setting, we're the people to call. Veteran owned, based in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Old Colony has been here servicing your homes proudly, and we plan to keep it up. Our team is fast, efficient, and reliable.
Stay at the top of my game, can't f with me. You know, when it comes to the game, we don't move the same. I'm who you wanna be. I go hard each and every day, never miss a beat. Not I mean, you go regret the day you ever stepped to me. Better respect the queen. Oh no, let's be back up in this again. Thought you was coming, but you been hiding behind all them friends. Wanna play with me? Wanna play for free? Wanna pass, then get played for free? I'ma pass cause they already know that I'm good when I say I be.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I'm your neighbor from just down the street. I also ride a motorcycle, so please check twice. Save a life. Motorcycles are everywhere.
For more information on sharing the road, visit mass.gov/RMV.
This is Viana Marie, and you're listening to Hoobazoo.com.
It's caught in the crossfire.
Should I get rid of the NS flexing?
Nobody knows what waits for the dead.
Every time that you come through,
do something else! Do something else!
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
All right, your boy Since One. Yep, now we're here. We've got sound. Big thanks to my guests. First Tuesdays, legal guys, Ken Diesenhof, Robert Resnick. We had the Roe versus Wade discussion. And last week I flew solo. This week my guests are already up in the corner, as you can see them. Let me get out my sponsors first before we get into this interview and link up with a blast from the past, as you guys can see. Your Mind Matters. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. For the entire month of May, we want to make sure to let people know that your mind matters. And, you know, this is a tough month. We've had some very public suicides in the news. And it's just tough. So, you know, if you have somebody that you know that's struggling, just make sure to reach out, make sure to call and help them out and check on them. It doesn't hurt to check up on anybody. Michael Douglas Bretto, MDB Electronics. This guy holds me down, gets my controllers fixed. Viana Marie, my artist, Viana Marie, her music is streaming everywhere. Big news, guys. Let's roll. The music video featuring her and Hillary Banks premieres Friday at 8 p.m. There may be a special location for this event. 8 o'clock, YouTube, everywhere it's going to debut, so you want to make sure to check it out. Tactical Target Systems. When I go to the range, I have my fear of the zombie apocalypse. I take my zombie targets down there to practice. Also, our last t-shirt winner, Felicia, and Chris Gagney. I got to get a picture of Chris Gagney and get him his shirt. Old Colony Pest Control, Carbonell, veteran-owned, residential and commercial. And let's get into my guests. I flew through my sponsors because I got my guests on. These ladies, we go back. And I was looking at YouTube and Lose My Voice. We go way back. And I was actually at WXBR AM radio in Brockton here. And I saw these young ladies at this time. They were mere teenagers. Their dad was their manager. And they were on this site called MySpace. And MySpace is where you would go to meet new artists on MySpace, and then if their music was good enough, you went and stole it off of Napster.
Sounds about right, yeah.
You know, if a new artist came out, you couldn't get, you were stealing it off of Napster, and here we are today. These ladies came to town from Canada, and they were very impressive. And I remember we had some conversations. I was actually getting ready to film The Game Plan with The Rock. I was actually about to be a football player in that movie. You guys came down and we were talking with your dad and stuff, and you guys were grinding it out, doing this music. And then I was like, you know what? People are going to know who Carmen and Camille are. This is going to happen. And we talked about where to get your music placed and things of that sort. When we were talking about, at that time, Smallville was having music played from independent artists. At the end of the show, they would show who they are, and you guys were like, you know what? We're gonna think about that. About a year or so later, you guys MTV The Hills. Your music hits. Let them know, Carmen and Camille. It's been like 15 years.
No, it's been so long. It's so good to be back. And I have to say,
oh my God,
you do not age. Like, what is happening? Like, you look exactly the same as when we saw you. So well done on that front. And thank you for having us. It's so good to see you again. Yeah, you've always been a supporter, and that means a lot because, you know, we've been in the game for a while. Yeah, and plugging away the old music business for a moment here. And yeah, so we appreciate that you still got our back. Love it.
No, always. And you know, I've always wanted to come out there because you guys have been all over the place. You guys are originally from Canada, for those who didn't know. You guys were originally from Canada. You guys had come down here for some stuff, and then the second time you guys came back, things were kind of really blowing up for you. You guys were on Fox News. You shot a DVD concert video here in Boston, Cambridge, packed the house. I actually showed one of those videos from that concert, and you can see me and my big head in the front row. Like all these people with this one big Suge Knight looking black dude in the front row with his kids. So
you brought the style.
Yeah. And you guys also... You did Mark's event too. You did Mark's event
Yep, we came back for that. We Yeah. performed at his event, and that was really fun. It's really nice of him to have us over for that. And we were still living in Vancouver, I think, when we all met and when we were coming to your radio station. But we had a band in Boston, or from Worcester, if we're saying that right. And yeah, just randomly we ended up with a band from Boston, and that's who we shot the DVD with. And we got the chance to come back to like Boston area a bunch of times, and we just loved it over there. We like salt of the earth people. Everyone was so nice to us, and we definitely want to get back there. We played a show, I think now it was like 4 years ago now or something, 5 years ago, but we played another show at East West, and that was fun. But we're definitely overdue to come back and play a show there. We'll definitely let you know when we do.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know. And the thing is kind of let these people know how it kind of took off for you, because, you know, you got that music on the hills, and then all of a sudden you guys started doing these little small gigs that turned into, you know, national anthems and things of that sort. So just kind of let these guys know, you know, what happened here, and, you know, how things have been, and how you guys were at the Grammys last week, you know, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that one thing that definitely was a highlight and helped push us along was we had some really good radio play across Canada, and we were independent, and that, you know, that doesn't really happen all that often. And we were, you know, climbing the charts and kicking off artists that have like Universal behind them, and they're like, who are these people? And then we were nominated for a Gino in Canada, which is kind of like a Canadian Grammy. We did lose to Deadmau5, but he was a little bit bigger of an artist. Yeah, that was a fun experience though. Like we got to walk the red carpet right before Justin Bieber. We're like, why is everybody screaming? Yeah, we're like, everyone's screaming for us. And then we're like, oh, there's Justin Bieber right behind us. Cool, that makes sense. Yeah, so we started screaming. But yeah, I definitely think that that Shine For You song really took off in Canada. So that was a big thing. And then we got a bunch of placements on the hills, My Sweet 16. Yeah, MTV was really good to us. We got to go visit them in New York and visit them in LA, and they had us in our music in, I think, like 4 different shows. And the hills, I think we had 4 songs on it, and so that was really good for exposure. They had us be a part of this MTV contest thing that we ended up winning, and I think that was when we got to go travel to New York and visit them. So it's a lot of like really cool things happening. And that did open up some relationships with music supervisors and stuff. So it has helped us get placements. That's something that we focused on a lot, is like the writing, kind of behind the scenes sort of stuff, like writing for TV shows and things like that.
Nice.
Then, we ended up at the Grammys. So this was our first year being members of the Recording Academy. We did go to the Grammys like a long time ago, like probably 8 years ago or something, but we went to the Grammys then, and that was a lot of fun. But this was our first year being members of the Recording Academy. You have to apply for it. And we got to vote. So we got to vote for people. It was really fun. Yeah, it was in Vegas this year. Yeah, it was in Vegas for the first time it's ever been in Vegas. And we went with our co-writing partner, and he was actually nominated for a Juno for a Grammy. Or sorry, nominated, not in Canada anymore. Nominated for a Grammy. And he ended up winning while we were there. So that was really cool. We got to see what his experience was like. Yep. He brought us to some very fun Grammy parties. It was pretty fun. Yeah. We went to, we got to see Rufus Du Sol. I don't know if you know them, but we got to meet this DJ Cassian that we love, and be up on stage with Rufus. And yeah, it was so much fun. It was a short but very jam-packed trip. We came back very tired. Yeah.
So in all of your time, because you guys have been grinding for a long time, I'm going to ask Carmen first, who was your starstruck moment of all the stuff you've done?
I would say our friend, this isn't even totally through music, but our friend who's an actor, he's actually just on the new Lincoln Lawyer series. His name's Paul Ray. He was doing a movie. He was shooting True Grit, and Matt Damon was there. And I think I talked about Matt Damon way back in the day with you. And so our friend was shooting a movie with him and was sitting next to him at dinner, and puts me on the phone with him. And I talked to Matt Damon on the phone. It was like, oh my gosh, he's like, I saw your website. You girls are really talented. Keep going. And, you know, your music sounds great. He was so sweet. It's like, oh, just be right over. But no, they were shooting somewhere Yeah, I think they might have even been somewhere East Coast. Anyway, so that was my claim to fame. I got to talk to Matt Damon on the phone, and he was very supportive. Yeah. Who would yours be?
Camille, your starstruck moment.
Starstruck moment. I'm gonna go. I think maybe you've heard the story, but when Justin Bieber prank phone called me because our old band leader, bandmate, after he played with us, he went and played with Justin Bieber and became his musical director, and they still have a great relationship. And I get a phone call and this was, years ago. Justin was quite young, and I don't think his voice had changed. And I was like, who's this? I shouldn't even tell the story, but who's this girl, a woman calling from the gas company saying we just moved to LA, and he's like, you haven't paid your phone bill or your gas bill. And I was like, shoot, have I not? Carmen just left I'm like, oh, sorry, I'll paid. He's like, I'm just kidding. This is Justin Bieber. I just went through Dan's phone and I'm randomly calling people. I was just like, what? I swear I paid my gas bill. I was like, the sad thing was we were like, crap, did we not pay our gas bill? Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, he's a cutie. We were still sorting out the bill situation in a way. I come back and Camille's beet red. And I was like, what just happened? She's like, Justin Bieber just prank called me. Then our friend Dan gets on the phone. He's like, sorry, guys. He was going through my phone. He's young. This is what he does for fun.
And you guys have changed and materialized your career. That was the one thing that I loved watching you guys. When I first saw you guys on MySpace, you were this, innocent poppy group. And then you hooked up with a DJ and you did the Shine For You, and then you kind of broke away from your dad, and then you guys started, the I Don't Give a F song, which was kind of like that, okay, we're coming out, this is us now, it was really upbeat club, the videos, and it was great to watch the videos, because your videos visually tell the story of your progress and how things have gone for you, and I noticed, you guys are putting a lot into your lyric videos too. You guys really deep on your lyric videos. Who comes up with the ideas on the lyric videos?
I think that was just ours. Yeah. I think Carmen actually did them. I made those. Yeah.
Wow.
Carmen's very good with video stuff. She'll edit a lot of our content. She's much better at these things than I am, so I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, she's good at editing our music, and I'll edit our videos. It's a good little tag team effort.
So you guys still have that twin energy thing going? Twin energy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we've gotten a bit better about getting along. We don't live together anymore, so that was a big thing, because it was working together all the time and touring around together. We did a tour to England, which was super fun, and did a 5-week tour across America, but it's a lot when you're with your family all the time, and no one can get under my skin like this one. Yeah, fortunately we get over our fights quick, but we do. But it can be kind of traumatizing to boyfriends or partners when we're we're fighting, and then we get over it, and they're like, I did not want to see you guys fight like 12-year-old children, but we're pretty good about it now. We get along pretty well. Yeah. We're lucky we have each other. Yeah.
And you all, we talked about this off air, and since we're talking about, the relationship that you guys have, one of the things we talked about is how I manage an artist, Vianna Marie, and we talked about things behind the scenes when you're dealing with certain issues behind the scenes when it comes to making music, and the knuckleheads and things of that sort, being a woman in this industry. And one of the things that you pointed out, you said you guys have your moments as sisters, as twins, but at the end of the day, you're there to protect her. And as you guys told me off air, that, there have been some situations where, you guys have protected each other and felt like in this business, you know how to read the signs and get the red flags. And, how is that as, being attractive women?
There's been some not great experiences throughout the years. Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time I heard a girl be like, you're so lucky that you guys have each other, I've had this bad experience, this guy try and so I think because we're together, it kind of mitigated, it's not as bad of a situation, because they know that we have each other's back and we're there to work and stuff. So we are lucky in that sense. Yeah, my heart goes out to, a girl on her own showing up to, some stranger's place to work, and they're in a position of power. Yeah, so it's a lot can go wrong there. And we we do feel very lucky that we have each other, because I know there have been times where if I wasn't there, you can read vibes and stuff. It's like you would be definitely trying something if there wasn't two of us here. Yeah.
And that's good because you guys have that twinergy. Travis Partington, good job. What's going on, man? I see you in the chat. Viana Marie, she actually has twins for daughters. She's in the chat. She has daughters who are twins, and they're doing some stuff. So, hopefully they'll be listening to this interview.
That's great.
Let's talk about this new project and this new video that you're coming up, because we've got a promo to show everybody. And I'm going to let you guys introduce it. But talk about this new project and this new music and this new direction that you guys are going in. It's no longer Carmen and Camille. It's CXC, which is this new thing that everybody's doing. It's pretty hip and cool. Looks great on the nightclub billboard. That's where I could see that with CXC, like with DJ so-and-so,
Yeah, that was actually our first release as CXC. We decided to just shorten it. Carmen and Camille. We still have a Carmen and Camille Instagram, and we still have that project, that entity, but we just wanted to do something new. Our CXC stuff is a bit more, I'd say maybe more mature than some of our older kind of poppier stuff. It's a bit more indie. We focus more on placements, but though our first release as CXC was with DJ Airglow, who we did a song with him that actually ended up on a bunch of playlists. It was through Play Me Records, and that kind of got the name out a little bit. But the song's called Something. It's on our Spotify. That was the first song we did with him, and then we had another song we did with him signed to Ram Records, and so that's been something we've also been focusing on, is writing with different DJs and stuff. But CXC, it was a big decision for us do we want to rebrand, because it had been a minute since we put out Carmen and Camille music, and do you want to alienate people? But also because it had been a little while, we're like, this is a good time. Let's not live in fear. Let's just go for it and rebrand. And I'm happy that we have, because a lot of people do it. It's funny. Yeah. It's like people will be like, I've changed my band name 3 times. I'm just like, okay. Yeah. Unless you're super huge, there's not really any reason not to. So it's just a fun change. Yeah. And CXC, I would say, is more kind of indie pop music, a little bit more chill in a way, but also good for remixes sort of music, like indie vibes.
Nice. And so you guys kind of came up with this because coming out of COVID, after those 2 years of COVID, rebranding is the kind of thing that you would want to do to reboot that whole start. It was the best time to take advantage of that, to be honest, because there were a lot of artists that we saw, they went stale. And then when things started to open back up, unfortunately, some of these promoters were charging outrageous prices for people to get back on the stage. You had all these people who hadn't done music in years. All of a sudden, they want to go back to doing music again, and they didn't care what they were going to pay to get on stage. So all these people who were grinding hard before COVID kind of got pushed to the back by those who had the money to get back out there and do stuff. And that was kind of hard too. So I really understand with that branding.
Saturated market now because COVID happened, and now it's all the big people want to be touring, and it just trickles down, and there's a few spots left for the still breaking and up and coming artists and whatnot. But I think it was good timing, and I'm so glad we did. I love our new project, and like you said, we are going to be releasing a new music video on May 31st. We sent you the teaser to show. That was directed by a guy named Stephen Getty that actually heard our song Back With My Baby that on Spotify and wrote us and just approached us and said, I love your song. I'd love to do a music video with you guys. And he's super talented. He's up and coming, man. I think he's going to do big things. He was very, very good. Yeah, I would love to make another music video with him again. It was such a fun process. We shot it in the desert. It was a very long day. I was driving a Jeep around. I have to go harder around that corner. Yeah, faster around the corner. Dangerous. We need gravel, dirt flying. I'd be like, okay. Yeah. Camille's looking terrified next to me. I was not acting. Yeah.
It's a Jeep. You'll be safe. So, all right, guys. So let's play this promo real quick for these guys, and then we're going to be back to close out the interview. You're watching Sinister One and Carmen Camille on the booth. Here's the promo for their newest video. Here we go. All right. Alrighty, that was the promo for the new video. Back with my baby, and the ladies are here. We're going to get ready to close up this interview. Wow, we've been on for almost 15 minutes with these ladies. The funny thing I got to point out, you guys still are doing this twin thing that you guys pointed out to me that twins do. During this interview, you guys were still finishing each other's sentences, knowing almost when you guys were talking about something, and Carmen, you said energized when Camille was about to say it, and I'm like, whoa, this twin thing is.
We've spent
you
a
guys
lot
when you
of time together.
oh my god! And I noticed that when I first met you ladies, you guys had that thing going on, and it was just so weird. And it's so weird that here we are 15 years later, and you guys still have this twin thing going on where it's just crazy. It's insane. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, like I don't even think about it sometimes.
Yeah,
but
it's probably way more obvious for other people.
Yeah, that are observing. I'll watch us back and be like, oh right, we do that.
Interrupt each other constantly.
Yeah, we're lucky we haven't cut each other off, because then we get angry with each other.
Yeah.
And you guys have been at this a long time, so we're going to really be looking forward to this. May 31st, you guys said, is the release.
Yeah.
Please tell everyone how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, so we've got our Carmen and Camille Instagram. If that's kind of more day-to-day life, that's Carmen and Camille Official on Instagram. And then we've also got CXC, and that Instagram is CXC Band. Yeah, and then on Spotify, it's CXC, all capitals. On Spotify, that's got all of our new tunes.
Yep, we're going to be releasing an EP next month.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
really excited about. So we'll be,
we've got like 3 EPs worth of music to release almost ready. And so we're releasing our first one next month.
Yeah, we're going to be starting to do like a single a month.
And just this is the year of, half of a year now, but it's going to be the year of just getting our music out there, because we've been accumulating it for a while.
Nice. And we hope to have you guys on again later on when you have some more music coming out. Viana Marie is in the chat. She said that was a fire promo. Nice. She was saying facts. She said facts. I think that's when we were talking about the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that women unfortunately have to deal with some of these knuckleheads out there.
You're always a great proponent for women, I feel like, and it's nice to have good allied men like you.
Well, it's tough because to be honest, I hate to say this. I've been managing her for almost 4 years now, and I hate to say this, but there's not many men out there like that, unfortunately. That's the sad part. And to be honest, there's some women out there who aren't up to par either. What really kind of bugs me about this business that I've learned behind the scenes is that you kind of can't trust anybody. We've had situations where people would tell us, "Oh, you don't want to do business with that person. You don't want to do business with this person. You don't want to," and then 2 weeks later, when they're ready to release a new single, guess who they're doing business with? The same people that they told you not to do business with.
Yeah, there's ulterior motives for sure.
Yeah. So I sit there some days and I'm like,
yeah, that's why when you find good people, it's like you really hold on to them, because it's few and far between, and you just got to learn the hard way sometimes. Yeah.
One of her things she says a lot is she keeps her circle small.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
It's quality, not quantity, for sure.
So I know you guys have been through that over the years, and I appreciate you guys for coming on. And we definitely want to keep following your music and following you on social media. And when this video drops, please get it to me, because I'll add it to my
we'll give you the whole
pre-roll.
video, and we'd love to be back when we release our album. We'll have a bunch of songs ready to go.
There'll be a lot of people here ready to see you guys. And anything else you guys got going on other than the music? Any other stuff before we let you go?
Just been working on songwriting. We've got a couple of different projects, kind of behind the scenes stuff. We did some writing for Bravo, and we're just plugging away, trying to make that.
We wrote an album for this Canadian production company. Produced it all myself.
Yeah,
she's been, she's a great producer. And
So we just been building and grinding away still.
Grinding away, lots going on behind the scenes, but this is the year of getting it all up there. Fruits of our labors.
All right, cool. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back here, and I can get into the news booth. But again, I got to thank Carmen and Camille for coming on the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to say hello on behalf of Mark Schapetta. I'm going to say hello on behalf of Ken Diesenhof. I know all of these guys are going to want to say hello to you guys, and it was great to have you on. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to take a quick break, people. I'm going to be back here in the booth. Your boy Sinister One, Carmen and Camille. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, Snap. You guys got Snapchat?
Yeah, it's Carmen Camille.
Yeah. So
no one.
I need to see you guys in the crying filter. That crying filter cracks me up.
Oh my gosh.
I don't go with Snapchat much, but when I saw that crying filter, it got me. I'm like, oh my God, they finally got something that got me because it's hilarious. So make sure to check these guys out. Follow them.
Good to see you. Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in a second. It's your boy Sinister One. You're watching The Booth. All right, your boy, Sinister One, broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are watching The Booth. I got to thank the ladies, Carmen and Camille, for coming on the show. And great stuff. Vianna Marie, I see you in the chat. Maddie C, Sports for You and Me, I see you in the chat. Kevin Jeffries, I see you in the chat. Dave Haggerty, Travis Partington, I see you guys all in the chat. Triple Threat, Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Maddie C, Sports for You and Me, followed by Kevin Jeffries, Happy Hour with Lido. Gloria Shea. Look at all these people in the chat whose shows I produce showing the love. You gotta love that. That's love right there, man. I love that. Look, I produced Gloria Shea show. She's in the chat. Kevin Jeffries, Happy Hour with Lido. Travis Partington, Oscar Mike Radio. Maddie C, Sports for You and Me. Vianna Marie, Recording Artists Vianna Marie. And then all the rest of the fans out there. But we're going to get into this news booth. We are going to get into this news booth right now. And I got to thank the ladies, Carmen and Camille, for coming on and showing that Twinergy. And hopefully Vianna's daughters were able to check them out, being twins themselves. It's pretty funny because that Twinergy thing that goes on is strange. It's crazy. Like finishing each other's sentences and all that stuff is just insane. Let's get into the news booth. Abington senior Katelyn McCarthy was struck. Okay, Jay's in the chat already. Let's go Heat Nation. So, breaking news. It's not in my sports booth, so I'm going to just announce it right now. Game 1 is Heat all the way, because it was just announced right now that Al Horford will not be playing Game 1, and neither will Marcus Smart. Both of them are going to be out for Game 1. I'm giving Game 1 to the Heat right now. Let it be known. Marcus Smart has a strained ankle tendon, so it's going to get some rest. He won't be playing in Game 1, and Al Horford is entered into the protocols which means he might have COVID or something of that such. So we'll see what happens there. 18-year-old Katelyn McCarthy was struck and killed by a commuter rail train in Abington. Her mother says that she might have had her earbuds on and wasn't paying attention. The safety, she was in the right of way of where the train travels, and this is a tough one because there's a lot of speculation. Her mother thinks that she just wandered onto the tracks and wasn't paying attention, but they also mentioned that this young girl had a history of being bullied, and she was considered the strange one. Her mother said she overcame a lot, but I'm praying and hoping that this was just a mirror. She wasn't paying attention. I hope this isn't something else in this month of May, mental health awareness. So I'm just praying and hoping nothing else comes out of this. KJ says it's all good. It's going to go 7 games. Talking about the Celtics series, so we'll see. We are at 7:35, and I got to get into this Buffalo hate crime. 13 now dead in the supermarket attack, and it is going to be considered a hate crime as Peyton Gendron shot 13 people, killed 13 people in a Tops parking lot in Buffalo, New York. 11 of those 13 were black, older people. One of those people was a retired police officer. He tried to end this rampage, and Peyton had on body armor. He didn't have on the bulletproof vest. He had on body armor, and he took this gentleman's life and other people's lives outside this Tops. This young man was apprehended and was arrested, and I don't get it. And that's a whole nother topic for another show. When you have an 18-year-old male with a assault rifle and he's shooting people, he's an active shooter, yet he goes to shoot himself and they get him and bring him in and he's under arrest. And when you've had black men shot behind the steering wheel of their cars because officers have been afraid for what they're reaching for, or because officers just felt afraid, period, on a traffic stop. That's just a violation. That's a moving violation. Shooting people in a parking lot is an active shooter in the act of murder. So I know the debates are going to start. I know a lot of people know that I usually talk about sometimes these shootings are connected to mental health. But there's a reason why this, and if my legal guys were on, they would tell you there's a reason why this isn't connected to mental health. The reason why this isn't connected to mental health is because Peyton plotted and planned this for months. And a lot of people dropped the ball on this. The school. And this is why I feel like this country, when it comes to licensed ownership, because this gentleman bought his gun legally, one of the reasons he fell through the loophole is because what happened with him in school and his comments is because whatever happens in school, you're a minor, and those records are protected. Those things are sealed. Those things are kept from people. And I've always felt that if we're going to do background checks for mental health on somebody that's purchasing a gun, we need to open up school records. We need to open up school records because there have been 5 mass murders with assault rifles in the last 3 years that would have been avoided. Would have been avoided if the firearms bought were able to check their school records on the background check. If this gentleman's background was able to be looked at from school, he would have never have been able to purchase this weapon, because this gentleman had talked about shooting up the graduation and killing people. He had to go under a mental watch, a medical mental watch, and he was cleared. Why was he cleared? Because on his social media, he claimed that he lied And he lied so good that he pulled the wool over their eyes. He meant every word he said, but he lied and said he was joking. And they all believed it, hook, line, and sinker, and said that, he's a young kid, he's just making jokes. Unfortunately now, this kid was on Discord, and they've now got 600 pages of racial stuff on Discord that this kid was putting out there. And here's the thing, the government is supposed to be watching websites and things that we do and talk about. And no red flags came up in the 600 pages of stuff that this kid was talking about on Discord. And here's the other thing too. He has friends and he has family. White silence is the equivalent to violence. And this is going out to my white friends and white people that I call family. White silence is violence. And I'm just going to break it down for those white people who don't know this yet. We all know that there's certain people who have a certain opinion and feeling of people of color or people, because he also was anti-Semitic. He didn't like Jewish people either. But we know that there are people, when they get in certain groups of other people, that's when they show their true colors. Now, here in Brockton, I was involved in the case as such where someone was exposed because people ran their mouths to a person and didn't realize that that person was married to a black person. And that blew a whole thing wide open. That's when somebody says white silence is enough and speaks their mind. If you're white and you have someone around you and you hear people say certain things that are out of the extraordinary, we are at a time where you need to open your mouth and say something. The time of just sitting back and just letting somebody just be crazy and talk their racist stuff, because that's how it used to be. That's how it used to be a few years ago. You know how it was, and some white people would get together in their groups or whatever, and you'd have that one person who was that clearly racist, but because he was amongst people of his color, he could say what he wants. And people would just say, okay, there's no black people here, so we're just going to let him get away with it, but he's an idiot. You would say that. He's an idiot. Here's the thing now. It's time to speak up and call those people out. If you're in the workplace and you're white and another white coworker says some stuff that's racist, guess what? And if you feel offended, legally you can file a case against that person. You can. Especially if you have a sister who's married to a black guy, or if you have somebody who's adopted black kids. You know what I'm saying? So white silence is equal to violence. So I'm just letting all you people know what happened here. There's a lot of people who knew this kid, who knew his feelings, and it should have been put out there. And this probably could have been avoided. It could have been avoided. And it's sad. It's tragic. And again, he purchased his firearm despite being reported under red flag law because it was school records. And they deemed him and cleared him because he claimed he was joking. He played the system. He played the system. And there's a whole lot of other things. He wrote all types of crap all over the gun. He had Dylan Roof written on the gun. He had the N-word on the barrel. He had anti-Semitic stuff written all over the barrel. And it worries me because, it doesn't take long for people to say, oh, he had his gun all done up like they do on Call of Duty. When you go on Call of Duty and you get your bundles and you can decorate your gun and do all this stuff, they're going to come for video games and try to blame us for that when it has nothing to do with it. This kid had hate in his heart. He had hate in his mind. He probably, and now they're saying his parents, they're saying, well, his mom and his dad aren't those type of people. We don't know where this hate came from and this and that. We don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Kevin Jeffries says, my brother has a white best friend and don't ever say nothing, but he has white friends who say racist-ish. I called him out. You have to. You have to, Kevin. This is the time. If you have white friends and they don't call other white people out on their BS, Call them out. Call them out, because we're seeing it on social media. I'm seeing some friends of mine who are white who are calling other white people out right on social media, and I applaud it. I won't applaud it publicly, but I'm gonna hit them up in their private box, and I'm gonna be like, "Yo, bro, I got you," because white silence equals violence. So and I'm just talking for real. I'm talking for real. What's up, Gregory Lee? Family. Gonna be coming up here in June. I'm gonna have to hook up with him. See how he's going. Maddie sees Pez Patriots too. I'm now 60. Ha ha ha. Oh, they talk about stuff back and forth. Also, here's another one for you people. Native American burial sites. They're up to 400 sites. And this is another black eye in the history of America. So when we came here from overseas, the Europeans, when they came over here, and they tried to assimilate themselves with the Native American culture, and things didn't work out, and we know what happened. They started to massacre Indians. It's gotten even darker. So what happened is, across America, we had these Native American boarding schools where Native American children were sent off to be learning and taught things, because at that time Native Americans didn't have that type of structure. So the Europeans who had come here, they set these boarding schools up. Well, what they're finding is that they have these mass burial sites at these boarding schools for these kids that they're saying, when they went to these boarding schools, what they were trying to do was they were trying to take away the Indian culture, and they were trying to take away the Indian language from them and try to make them speak what they wanted them to speak, or make them behave and act the way that they wanted them to act or behave, and turn away their culture. And if this didn't happen, kids were abused, kids were killed, and kids were buried. And we are now up to 400 sites of burial grounds of Native American kids. Sad. This is a serious black eye. Gloria Shea says, how many games? 6 or 7 in the Boston game before it's closed out. I got, if this thing at game 1 wasn't announced, I would have said Celtics in 6. But we'll see here. We'll see. I'm going to get into that in the sports. Let's get into the legal booth. In the legal booth, the New York Jets and Giants might have to drop the New York name because they play in Jersey, which is no secret. But now there is a $6 billion class action lawsuit because somebody bought tickets to a New York Jets game and found out that they don't play in New York. They play in a dump called Jersey, Meadowlands. And this suit was just recently changed because they also found out that MetLife Stadium was running under New York concession rules when it should be running under New Jersey rules. So this whole issue here, it's a tax issue. It's a lot. It's bigger than people realize. If these people win this class action lawsuit, which we will know this week, New York, they'll have to drop the New York name, and they will be called the New Jersey Jets or the New Jersey Giants after this suit. Or they may not put the New Jersey at all. They'll just be Jets and Giants. We knew this was coming because when the Jets changed, they dropped the New York from their logo. It's just the Jets. And they're saying that MetLife Stadium's website now puts up a disclaimer letting people know that they're in New Jersey. And now that these people are saying that's an admittance of guilt by changing their website. So this is going to get interesting. This is why you all watch the booth, because you're hearing stuff now. When the stuff goes down and things are settled, then everybody's up in arms and talking about it. You're going to say, hey, I heard about this way back. This was coming. So pay attention. This is coming because Ken Diesel, this has been a big hair across Ken Diesel's butt for years. He's always pointed this out that they play in Jersey because he came from that area. So he's always been pointing this out. Look, I'll just tell you right now, the chat between me, Ken Diesel, and R Squared over this topic, oh man, if this is still going on June 7th when they come to town and we do our show live, this will be a discussion here. Basketball star Brittany Griner. Russia turned around and had said that Brittany was going to end up being held another 30 days. And we already realized that this was a pawn. She was a pawn. So now Russia has turned around and said that, guess what? If you guys here in America release the Merchant of Death, who's Victor Bout. Victor Bout is an arms dealer. He was sentenced to 25 years here. He's Russian. Russia has said now, if we release this arms dealer who was sentenced to 25 years, they'll release Brittany Griner. Here you go. We said this from day one that she was going to be used as a political pawn in this whole thing. I'm watching this story because I'm going to see if the USA releases this guy for a WNBA player. I mean, this is insane. You know, she had a little thing of hashish oil. She's a WNBA player, but you want to negotiate and let go this arms dealer who's serving 25 years in prison for dealing arms? Interesting. We'll see. We will see. Also, Elon Musk. Last week, I put the SEC consent decree. So what happened was that he was trying to get the SEC decree removed from Twitter so he could say whatever he wants and not be held accountable. But because he's a CEO, there's what we call corporate speech, and he has to be held accountable for the things he says because it affects the stock. So the judge knocked it down. So this was the story that I reported last week. Not even a week later, after losing this case, guess what Elon Musk does? Elon Musk now says that he was completely unaware of the 5% of fake accounts that Twitter has, and now I want to pull out my deal and take my football and go home.
Jesus! God! Tap dancing Christ!
So all y'all who put Elon Musk on a pedestal, here we go. Because he's looking to back out the deal, and they already told him that if he tries to back out this deal, he's going to have to pay $1 billion out of his pockets. Not to mention anybody who fronted him that money, like Morgan Stanley, they're going to want some interest. They ain't going to care. They're not going to care at the fact that he pulled out a month after deciding that he thought he was going to buy Twitter. Morgan Stanley's going to be like, look, you got daily interest on this money we loaned you, bro. We loaned you $42.1 billion to buy Twitter. You borrowed it from us for 45 days at a daily interest rate of... and they're going to want that. Trust and believe me, Morgan Stanley is going to want that money. They're going to want that interest. So Elon Musk is in a serious, serious situation. So let's see what happens here, because the rumor is he's trying to pull out. He's trying to pull out of this deal now. And he's going to have to pay. There's no way they're going to let him pull out of this deal and not pay anything. And it's only been a month since Donald Trump's Truth Social came to be. You know, the app where people can go on and say whatever they want and not be held accountable. He don't got bread. KJ, he don't got bread. He is not liquid. This has been discussed. He don't got money. He's asset rich. He's property rich. He's got a ton of businesses, but he don't got money. He don't got money. He's not liquid rich. This is the problem. This is why this happened. Because he borrowed $43.1 billion from Morgan Stanley because he didn't have it. He only put up $9 million of his money because everything else is tied up into SpaceX and it's tied into Tesla. So he don't have bread. There's two different types of assets here. Liquid, and then you have your property assets. He don't have the liquid assets. He's in the red. He's way in the red. And if he backs out of this deal, it's really going to hurt him because he can't pull that money from Tesla or SpaceX to pay this $1 billion that he's going to have to pay. You see what I'm saying? There's two different types of assets here. And this is where people are getting it twisted. People think they know that he got all this money. He got all this. He's ranked all this money in Forbes, but then when you break it all down at the end of the day, he has property assets and he has liquid, and he don't have liquid assets. He don't have a lot of cash. He got a lot of property and he got a lot of stuff in SpaceX, but all that money's tied up into those assets there. So he borrowed against those. And you know why people put that money up? Because they know if he defaults on these loans, Morgan Stanley knows, if he defaults on this loan, you know what Morgan Stanley's going to do? Morgan Stanley is probably going to buy most of Tesla or SpaceX. So this is going to get real interesting. Just like right now, the company buying Trump's social media. This company that's come out now, and they're going to buy Trump's social media, Truth Network, Truth Social. And what's going to happen is when Trump posts, he has to wait 6 weeks before he can post on any other social media. So now he's held under a contract. So guess what? His True Social is no longer a free speech place anymore, people. And supposedly, everybody stopped posting on True Social this past week once it was told that they were going belly up. So I heard there's a lot of crickets out there. So we'll see. Let's get into the entertainment booth. I got 5 minutes to go. Nick Cannon is expecting his 9th and 10th child with Alyssa Scott and Lanisha Cole. Lanisha Cole is the mother of the child. No. Alyssa Scott is the mother of the... He got so many mothers, I'm confused. So many baby mamas, I'm confused. But Alyssa Scott is the mother of the one that just died of the brain tumor. She's now pregnant with another child. What's up, Chris Gagne? Lanisha Cole is pregnant with his 10th child. This is going to be another show. I'm sorry, but this is going to be another show. I'm sorry. I'm just tired of hearing this. And black men in the hood who's putting him on this pedestal. I saw Alex Wright was on my page, and he was talking about you should mind your business. Nick Cannon's good for the economy and good for the community. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. He said I'm getting it twisted and believing the narrative. I'm not believing it. You're believing the narrative. You're believing the narrative if you think that Nick Cannon fathering 10 kids and not being able to be a father to them kids, that's the narrative that they want you to believe is good, Alex. This is coming from a father, a black father. That's the narrative they want you to believe. They want you to believe that he's a good dad because he's financially supporting his kids. Guess what? He's still not there for his kids. What good is being daddy's little girl if you're just getting a paycheck every month or a trust fund when you turn 18? What good is it? Because we've seen how well it worked for Jada and Will Smith. Their kids are a hot mess. Hot mess. Don't get me started. That's a whole nother show. Whole nother show. Let's get into the sports booth. We got about 5 minutes left. Rest in peace, Gino Cappelliti, the voice of the Patriots. He was also on the original Boston Patriots. Wide receiver kicker Gino Cappelliti passed away at 89. If you guys remember, he actually stepped away from broadcasting because he had took ill. And, you know, it's been pretty quiet behind the scenes, but we've just, we're told that, he passed away, 89 years old. Prayers go out to the New England Patriots, his friends and his family. Again, Gino Cappelliti, 89 years old, a legend here in Boston. I'm going to miss that voice calling these Patriot games. Also, Celtics crushed the Bucks in Game 7, advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals. Grant Williams comes back, lights up the Bucks for 27 points. It was insane. Now we're taking on the Heat. Game 1, I'm already giving to the Heat. Marcus Smart is out. Al Horford is out. That means you're not pulling. Somebody's going to have to step up, but I don't see it. I think we take Game 1. That's a loss. Also, NFL's Ernie Barnes painted the iconic Sugar Shack painting, which just sold for $15.3 million. Now, this news story, Black Enterprise says a whopping 15.3. The person who bought this is, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's a black dude, Bill Perkins, World Series of Poker. He was ruthless on World Series of Poker. He also owns Skylar Capital. He's a hedge fund manager. Makes a ton of money. He stole it. Let's be real. 15.3 million, he stole it. Why? This auction took place in Texas. Bill Perkins steals this painting at 15.3 million. This is an iconic painting. This painting right here, I got to ask this question right now before we get out of here and close out this show in a little bit. Why the hell wasn't like an Oprah or Diddy, Michelle Obama? Why wasn't anyone like that at this auction to buy this iconic painting, which was featured and got recognition from the TV series Good Times? A lot of people don't know this black guy who bought this Bill Perkins guy. And he said the only reason why he went was because he was hoping that people like that didn't show up. And when these people weren't there in the house to buy this, he was like, oh, I'm getting this. Oh, trust and believe me, I'm getting this. But it just bothers me that, the people that you hear and talk about and push all this community and black stuff, they weren't there to buy this painting. This is an iconic painting. I'll tell you right now, if I had Diddy money, I'd have been there to buy that. That would have been in my living room on the wall. If I had Diddy money, that right there. Nothing says black excellence like that. Biden bombshells. Biden spoke on the Buffalo tragedy. He said white supremacy is a poison in America. It definitely is. And we need to, like I said, white silence is violence. That's the only way we're going to beat this. And then, again, the government. The Pentagon and a couple of Republican lawmakers have now saying that UFOs pose a potential national security threat. They're saying that pilots and other people in the Air Force, pilots in commercial airlines have been silenced and kept quiet because UFOs have been out there, they've been covering up, and they're a threat to security. National security.
Stop doing that! Stop!
Stop it. Why do we have to let everything out? The 2020, 2021, and 2022 has been this has been the worst disaster movie of all time. All time. The only thing we don't have now is zombies. Because we've got aliens now. You got all talking about aliens now. We might as well just bring zombies into the mix. Just bring them in. All right? UFOs. The government is now talking about UFOs being a national security threat. Ukraine invasion. The International Crime Court is launching the largest ever probe into war crimes. Now, Ken Diesel, R-Squared, talked about the war crimes that were being committed over in the Ukraine and was saying that they hoped that this was going to happen. It's about to happen. And the rumor is, behind the scenes, is that Putin has blood cancer and not doing well. And behind the scenes, there is word to already replace Putin, and whoever is going to replace Putin is going to pull the troops out of Ukraine. That's what the rumor is coming out of Russia. So we're going to keep an eye on that one because I'm wondering if his own people gave him the blood cancer. You know what I'm saying, over there in Russia? Because they said that 90% of the people in Russia were against this invasion of the Ukraine. So, man, oh man, oh man. We'll see. We will see. Guys, thank you for taking care of me, purchasing my hats. I'm looking at some items, bringing them on the way. And I'm going to try to share them with you. I can't wait. The shows that I produce: She Talks Football Podcast, Drafting the Circuits, Oscar Mike Radio, Happy Hour with Lito, Matty C, Sports View, me, and Gloria Shea. Those guys are in the chat right now, checking out the show. Triple Threat. Also, May 22nd, the services for Passport Pudge, Lamont, who passed away. I announced it on the show. Passport Pudge is a rapper in this area. He is going to be held services on the 22nd. So you want to make sure to head down there. Charlene Robbie and Bianca Alexis, you want to get in touch with them and let them know they're looking for people if they want to bring some food or things of that sort. And Vianna Marie will be performing at the Juneteenth Festival at Kennedy Park in Fall River, performing live on Juneteenth Festival, which is June 18th, because 19th is Father's Day. And then there's Felicia, my t-shirt winner, and that's it. I got to get ready to get out of here and let you guys know that I really appreciate you and thank you again. And hey, Friday night, 8 o'clock, Vianna Marie, let's roll. The music video debut with Hillary Banks. Let's roll. Inbox me, inbox her. We are talking about a special location for this premiere. You can come out, hang out, and we're going to premiere it. YouTube is going to be the spot. And I got to let you know. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in the show. I'm going to be back next week, and then I got to talk to you guys about what's going on the week afterwards because I'm going to be out of town, but I am going to be doing a show still because I'm going to be at the Slingshot in the Smokies convention. It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. So stay tuned. SpongeBob, do me a favor. It's Tuesday night. I got to get out of here. Take us home.
Well, see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I make it, bitch, don't repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, but y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything, I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's Hoobazoo.com. Enter website.